you know, put it into a perspective where I can say what happens to me for sure. But in my estimation right now, Tank either wins by knockout or he could be in a tough fight.
What do you make of Ryan Garcia not taking like a tune-up fight right before the Tank matchup? I mean, he's been out a long time. I don't know. He's not taking an in-between fight.
You know, everything to every individual is different. So we don't know what led him to decide not to take the fight. And, you know, if you've been doing this as long as these guys have, you figure out ways to get yourself prepared without necessarily taking a tune-up fight. Is it better? Yeah, in a lot of ways it is. But it's not the 100% proof that you'll either be successful in your next fight or not. So, you know, each individual has to make their own decisions. I don't know what his decision was that led him to that. I would like to see him from a fan perspective, see him fight, because it would be great to see both of them fight around the same time and be able to get a visual of that. But, you know, the unknown is great as well. You don't know what you're going to get. And we'll find out what we're going to get this Saturday, and, you know, we'll find out what we'll get from them when they fight.
Moving on, when you see everybody's talking about the 135 division, when it's all said and done, who do you feel going to be the top man left in the 135 division?
It's very hard to determine that, because all of those
you got
guys,
a good eye, so I know you see something.
It's hard to determine that. All those guys are young, and all of those guys are still trying to secure that spot as the top guy. Now you got another guy moving up, Shakur Stevenson moving up. You got Ryan Garcia, you got Devin Haney, you got Tank Davis. I can see Tank beating all those guys by knockout. On the other hand, I can see some of those guys, you know, giving Tank some trouble with the boxing. And then in mixing and matching those guys, and don't forget, you still got, I think, well, no, did T.O. move? Did he move up? Did T.O. move up?
Yeah, he moved up to 140.
He moved up to 40. Okay, but, you know, just those guys right there alone, it's you know, it's epic for all of those guys to fight each other, and it'd be great to see them fight each other at a young age instead of, you know, waiting it out too long.
Could you help T.O. out right now? Do you feel, though, that you could be a person that really helps him?
That's not something that, you know, I'm looking, you know, to do or anything like that. Most guys that are, you know, this far along in their careers with the trainers they have, you know, those trainers do great jobs, and so they kind of just need some tweaking here or there. It's not an overhaul situation for him or anyone else that's made it to this championship level. They just probably need some perspective here or there, but, you know, his dad does a great job with him, so that's not something that I see them needing. You know, his dad has done this much to get him to this point. They're doing great with that part of it. There's some tweaking that goes on with any fighter.
Appreciate that, Coach.
Yes.
So this card is pretty lit.
This card is lit.
It is lit. Now the co-main, Jaron Ennis, he's a welterweight. His son was a welterweight.
Yeah.
What do you make of Jaron Ennis?
He's definitely a dynamic fighter. His abilities, to me, I see between his dad, Mosey, his two brothers, Farah and Pooh Ennis. He's a combination, to me, of all three of those guys. He's pretty much, in my eyes, unbeatable. I fought on cards. Well, I didn't fight. Sean fought on cards with Farah. Very talented fighter. Extremely skillful defensively. I watched his brother Pooh Ennis, offensive-minded fighter, very fast, quick, reflexes, impeccable. And then the dad actually worked corners with me in Sean's corner early on in Sean's career. And so his mind is borderline genius, and having the ability take what he did with his other two sons before him, which I'm looking at one of them right there. There's Ennis. Having the ability to take, and Farah right there, having the ability to take both of those guys and combine it into this son, and this son being even, as it looks like right now, better than him, better than both the other brothers, it's phenomenal. The kid is really, really, really great in his lineage, and you know he was born and raised on this. He was born and raised on this. Like you get up in the morning and have cereal, that's what he sat there with. You know, his dad, his brothers, and they're his team. They're in his corner. So yeah, he's got a great thing going on. More fights to go to that level, but he's right there at that level. I can see him getting that victory. I can see him definitely getting that victory. I can see him getting that victory.
Okay.
You know, because that's a tougher fight for him. That's a much bigger man on fight night. Much different style, you know, in terms of strength and in terms of size differential on fight night. Errol presents much more of a problem than Terence does. That one I'm on the fence with. You know, I'm on the fence with that one. If they were fighting today, I'd say Errol.
Coach, we got
They're not fighting today, though. They're not fighting today.
Coach, we got Benavidez and Caleb Plant coming up. What do you think about that one?
Benavidez and Caleb Plant. You know, at the risk of sounding like, you know, I've studied these guys and watched them and can put together the strategy that they're going to have to win the fight. I don't have that. I haven't done that. So, you know, you're asking me to go out on a limb, but I say Benavidez in the decision.
Actually, I got Caleb Plant. Actually, it's real tough. But Matt, you were talking about Jaron Ennis and his family and him, you know, pretty much going into the game. Do you think that's a big factor in him, kind of like being like one of the best welterweights in the sport right now?
One of the best welterweights in the sport, more than likely, will take over the welterweight division. Definitely, he'll take over the welterweight division. And the dad, two brothers, the circle that's around them, they prepped and prepared him for this. He's ready for all of this.
Yeah, you got Coach Bozy. I know I talked with him, and he pretty much, like you said, has a great mind, you know, with the background in boxing and martial arts and everything like that. So having, you know, him teaching Jaron Ennis and pretty much like you said, makes it an unstoppable, you know, duo. And his brothers there as chief seconds, whatever.
They've got some things going on that most people don't have.
Now, you said stylistically that Spence poses more of a threat to Jaron Ennis.
Yeah.
Does that mean he beats Bud easily? Or the style makes fights and that's going to be a good close fight?
Who beats who easily?
Spence versus Crawford. You said that Spence will give...
So you're talking about the decision with Spence and Crawford now?
Yeah.
And we're not talking about
But
boxing.
I'm bouncing off the fact that you said that Spence gives Jaron Ennis a harder time. Does that mean he's the better fighter between him and Crawford?
That doesn't mean that he's the better fighter. That just means my opinion is I see Errol winning the fight. That doesn't mean, you know, stylistically, maybe somebody looks at Terence and thinks he boxes better, he's a better fighter. I don't know. You know, that's just my opinion. And that's what boxing is. And see, that's people don't realize and understand. This is not like the other sports. Football, basketball, baseball. Points go on the board. The home run gets hit, we know what it is. The three-pointer gets shot, we know what it is. Boxing is someone else's opinion. At the end of the round, there's people sitting around that table and they're going to give their opinion, who they thought won that round. It may not be the same as your opinion, may not be the same as my opinion. And at the end of the fight, unless it's a knockout, you know, we may have a difference of opinion on who won the fight.
Coach, let me get your opinion on a couple of more fights. We have Jamel Charlo and Tim Zoo. What do you think about these breakdowns on them?
Charlo, absolutely.
I think that's an easy win for Charlo.
I don't say easy. He got some work to do in terms of figuring out a different style not an American style, but I know he has the ability, the IQ to do that, the physical abilities to do that as well, and I see him winning that fight.
How about Devin Haney and Lomachenko?
Devin Haney, absolutely. I see Devin's talent, his youth, giving him the ability to get past Lomachenko.
Wilder and Ruiz, what do you think about that fight?
Wilder by stoppage. Love Andy, great fighter. You're getting a lot out of a lesser guy in terms of not as big as Wilder, not as long as Wilder, not as tall as Wilder. Reed's not knocking out people like Wilder. So he's going to put up a great fight, but I see Wilder winning that.
What about the Fury versus Usyk for the undisputed heavyweight championship?
Fury. Do you know the last guy from America to beat Usyk?
What was that?
The last guy from America to beat Usyk.
America to beat Usyk.
Sean Porter.
The person right behind me, Sean Porter.
You know the last person to beat Demetrius Andrade from the United States? Sean Porter.
All right, we got potentially Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. Can you break that one down for us?
I'm not going to be able to break it down, but I got Gervonta in the knockout. In the knockout.
I'm going to ask you, do you feel like it's disrespectful for him to already have a fight lined up after the fight, before the fight happens this
Nah,
weekend?
it's part of boxing.
Okay.
There's some contracted names on there already. If somebody gives you a contract with X amount of names and X amount of dollars, are you going to say no to that?
No, sir.
It's just the cat got out the bag and some of the information got around, that's all.
Okay.
Hey, guys, I got to get back over here.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate you, man.